Hi, welcome. This is my shop, Boho Hobo.
When did you start Boho Hobo?
Last January.
Do you want to give us a tour of the store?
Sure. First, to your right, over here, we have the information center. And you can click on these panels. And okay, the money we're raising here is for RAWA, the Revolutionary Association of the Women of Afghanistan. And this first board over here, I'll just walk over to it. They have schools for children, orphanages, income-generating projects, clinics, and also they help raise political awareness for women and women's rights in Afghanistan.
So you're using this store to raise money for RAWA. What kind of clothes are you selling? You want to show us some of your hottest fashions?
Sure. I think you could describe the clothing here as being the type of clothes you'd see in maybe a vintage or secondhand clothing store in maybe the warehouse district of a city. If we go over this way, I think I have a variety of all different kinds of things. In this section over here, I have some outfits that are inspired by, like we have the mini saris, they're inspired by clothing in India, and these Banjara skirts over here by gypsy women in India. And up here are the very first outfits I made. This is last November, not last December. And they're inspired by Afghan fashion, Afghan clothing, traditional style Afghan clothing.
So Trill, you are an artist in real life and a world traveler, and I'm curious about how do your skills in real life translate into creating this store and these clothes in Second Life?
Skills. Well, let me see. I love clothing. In real life and in Second Life. Skills. I love working in Photoshop. I sometimes take paintings, I'll take a digital photograph of them, bring them into Photoshop and add digital elements, kind of with a sort of a collage sensibility. Oh, thanks Robin. Robin just bought something.
So what are some of your hottest sellers, and about how much does an article of clothing go for? You're using this to raise money, so I'm kind of curious as to how much you're selling and how much is like that sari that Robin just purchased.
The sari is 55 lindens.
That's a pretty good deal for such a nice object. Usually a good clothing goes for like 2 or 3 times that in the shop. How do you determine your pricing?
Well, I find that if everything is really cheap, people tend to buy maybe 5 times as much as they would if it was expensive. And
so what's your highest price clothing item? How much does it sell for?
Well, if I have something like these coats over here, they're a combination of a coat with all the sculpts, the collar, and the cuffs, and the mini dress underneath. This is like, it's a combination outfit. This one costs a bit more. That is 175 lindens.
And you've been selling your clothes to raise money for RAWA. About how much money have you made so far?
Let me see. I think since January, well, let's say not January, let's say since April, I'd say about maybe 3,000 US.
And how do you get customers to come to your store? I heard that you've been doing some festivals. How do you advertise your clothing products?
Some things such as, Cheap Fridays and fashion groups where you can advertise and people are members of the group and they become members to find good deals. And let's see, through magazines, there's some Second Life magazines and publications that you can advertise in.
And what about men? Do you make clothes for men, or is it just women?
Right around the corner outside, I have a shop for men, Rudy Fair.
Why don't we take a quick peek inside?
It's all fair trade. Nobody's exploited while making them. But I gotta say, men are horrible shoppers. I have to make all of these gift options so women can buy for men.
Do you think they're all women who are buying the women's clothes and vice versa?
I have a friend who's a guy who's very interested in finding out what it's like to be a female, and he likes to shop here. His female avatar is this little arty girl.
Does he have a favorite outfit?
He likes to wear a lot of black. She.
Well, Robin, those Argyle tights and cutoff shorts look excellent.
All right, yeah, no, I feel so much better. This is a new look for me.
She's got it with the sari, the mini sari on.
I feel like a little kid dressing up in Mommy's closet.
Why don't we take a look at this fantastic museum that you've created, an interactive museum of Afghanistan, where people can go and learn more about the culture of Afghanistan. So why don't we go ahead and teleport over there?
When you first come, you notice a poem by Rumi on the rock. Rumi is a 12th century poet, and he was born in present-day Afghanistan, in what would be present-day Afghanistan.
Why is it important to have this right when you enter into the museum?
It's to set the tone for the show. The museum it's a celebration of Afghan culture. I thought that as a way of humanizing the people in Afghanistan. I think there's an issue with people in North America, Western people, of viewing them as something other than the way we are. And if we can gain an appreciation of their culture, sort of it humanizes them. They become more than, just those suffering people out there in that terrible place, or maybe just a blip on a radar screen.
How long have you been working on this museum?
I've been working on it really a lot. I've been really obsessed about it. I've been working on it for the last 3-4 months.
So why don't we take a little bit of a walkthrough, and you could show us some of the interactive exhibits that you've been creating here. So what happens with the map?
Oh, you click on the glowing balls or the glowing words, and this is just introductory postcards of Afghanistan. Pictures of a few of the capital cities. Here you have the Hindu Kush Mountains. If you look at the map, you can see that about 2/3 of the country is mountains. This is the western spur of the Himalayas.
Should we quickly look at the animals?
I showed this exhibit to a guy from Iraq, and this was the exhibit that he liked the most, is the one about animals, because they have the same animals in Iraq.
What do?
You click on these animals, and each animal is scripted to give a sentence out in local chat. You can click on them several times, and on the bottom part of your screen you get a sentence giving facts about the animals. The other room was the physical geography of Afghanistan, and this room here begins with the cultural geography. Start off with a breakdown of the ethno-linguistic regions of the country. Really diverse country. Afghanistan is sort of a crossroads of historic trade and invasion routes. So it's really multicultural. You have a lot of people that have sort of congregated in Afghanistan. You have the Turkic people, you have Mongolian people, and you also have Pashtuns who are Syrian way back, and sort of Mediterranean, and you have the very first Indo-Europeans that are also living in Afghanistan. This is one of the methods of heating that they have in Afghanistan. This would probably be a stove in a wealthier home. In the middle compartment here is where they have the fire. Also, they use it for cooking. The bottom part is where they would dry wood. And up here you have the spigot. This is where they would cook water for tea. And it's called a bukhari.
Are there other members of the Arab community that have visited the museum or that help you to create the museum?
I have a friend who's from Lebanon. He's active in the Free Palestine movement, and he's going to be helping me do the exhibit on Islam for the museum here. Yeah, the Muslim community in SL is huge and really active. This is the history of hashish in Afghanistan here. They have this ancient ceremony in Persia called the Buzruz. They have a big bonfire and they burn bales of hashish or bales of cannabis, invite all their neighbors and friends over, and it's a weekend-long party called the Buzruz. Everybody.
Wait, how do you make it breathe like that?
Oh, I just did that in my microphone. god, you guys.
Trill, this is really a great museum. It's really, really fantastic. I love the colors.
So fun to make. The Door of Faith. So this is, the idea is, okay, you have this door. It almost looks like you're going up a scaffolding, and the door, you open the door and it enters onto nothingness. This is the beginning of the exhibit for Islam.
Whoa! What is this place?
And the exhibit isn't up yet. This is going to be the Islam exhibit. Both formal and folk Islam in Afghanistan.
So Trill, this has been a really amazing adventure, seeing your store and seeing this museum and your fundraising. Well, you sure do love history, and you've done an incredible job, and we look forward to seeing these future exhibits. Thank you so much for giving us this tour.